I don't know, but it's 7 o'clock.
Hello, everybody.
I'm here beating on the window.
Welcome to the Expendable Show. Sean wants to talk over me today. But we're here. It's Sunday. So there's a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah.
Nothing really major. It's just a bunch of hodgepodge things.
Right.
And so the first thing I want to talk about is there was a death this weekend that is notable to me and probably a lot of my family members. So I come from a big gymnastics family. If you're a girl in my family, you were in gymnastics. It's just like a family rule. But Bella Caroli, who's probably now I don't even say it's arguably, Bella Caroli is the greatest gymnastics coach on the planet, probably ever, that we'll ever see. But Bella Caroli passed away this weekend, so that's a sad time for USA Gymnastics. Maybe my cousin Monica can be the next gymnastics coach. She has a really, really nice gymnastics gym, and they win all the time. Anyway, so next on the agenda, it was a fight weekend. We had fights everywhere, not like unorganized fights, but we had organized fights. And so the big one that everybody was talking about, I watched it. Which was the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I didn't really have like any great expectations for the fight. However, Mike came out pretty strong for the first 2 rounds, then faded quickly. 48 years old, or 58, I'm sorry. 58 years old is 58 years old. You're going to have that. But I really liked, I get thrown by Jake Paul all the time because he's a persona when he's got a camera on him. But yet, I think the real Jake Paul is a lot different than the persona Jake Paul. Do I think Jake Paul's a great boxer? No. Do I think he's a decent boxer? Yes. So I have a tough time until I see Jake Paul actually fight a real boxer. I just don't really put a lot of stock into him as a boxer. But there's no doubt that he is the GOAT of content creation. The guy is very, very wealthy. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to make money. And, and he's from Ohio, so that helps. But I thought that at the end of the fight, Mike Tyson was struggling there at the end, and Jake Paul really could have teed off on him, but he didn't. And then before the fight ended, Jake Paul kind of bowed out to him. And I thought that was a real nice gesture to Mike Tyson to allow him to save face during the fight. I was pretty impressed by that. Jake Paul could have kept going until the end, but he didn't. He let Mike Tyson have his due. So I give Jake Paul some props for that. I'm watching. They're showing all these highlights of all the NFL guys doing the Donald Trump dance. There was probably like 15 of them. People doing the Donald Trump dance in the end zone. But before I forget, real quick, let's before we get into the next fight. For those of you who have not bought my book yet, please go buy it. I'm going to discuss that later on in the podcast and about why I feel like my book's important. But there it is. Colin, you're right. The fight did suck. The 2 girls that fought before, well, they was going at it. That was pretty impressive. Like one girl had like her whole eyelid hanging down. It was crazy. But here's my book to Swiss Effect. Check it out. Purchase a copy. Eventually, I'll be down in somebody's area and I'll start autographing things. I'm very proud of this book, and I hope everybody takes the time to at least read it. Maybe if I can get it into all the libraries and want to buy it, you can just read it. But I am planning on donating a lot of the proceeds of my book to certain charities. So, which I have not announced that yet, but I'm going to do that. I don't write books to get rich. I write books because I have thoughts and I want people to see my thoughts. And maybe it's a bunch of crap, maybe it's not. I'm no James Patterson. Me and Sean was talking about James Patterson today, how he writes phenomenal books. But that's not me. They probably put me in the conspiracy theories category. But that's all right, because the conspiracy theorists have all been right lately. So, but there's my book, The Swiss Effect. And I'll stop that screen from doing what it's doing. Okay, next fight. John Bones Jones fought Stipe Miocic this weekend in the UFC. Now Stipe's he's from Cleveland, so there's another Ohio fighter. It's a big Ohio fighter weekend, I think. But he got beat. John Bones Jones did a spinning back kick and took out Miocic. But it was interesting because after the fight, John Bones Jones did the Donald Trump dance because Donald Trump was in the crowd. Donald Trump was there with Kid Rock, Elon Musk, RFK, Mike Johnson, Jelly Roll, and probably others that I didn't see on camera. So he had the bros there. All the Democrats are so scared of the bros. But they were all in attendance, and Trump likes to watch UFC fights. Dana White was there, sitting in the pack with the pack. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's nice to see that we have a president that enjoys, the sports, where Joe Biden really didn't pay too much attention to him. And Kamala Harris, she's anti-masculinity, so she definitely isn't going to go watch anybody playing the sports. So that fight, they don't fix fights in the UFC. So, Dana White's big on that. He wants real fights, and they get them. So I thought that was pretty cool. After the fight, John Jones jumped the cage and gave his belt to Donald Trump. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm sure he got his belt back. But just the gesture of him saying, hey, you're my president. You're the real champ. Everybody's supporting him in the fight world. So that's a big deal. Next on the agenda, I call it the liberal exodus because that's what's happening. The liberals are losing their mind. And so we have several major announcements. I don't know why these liberals need to make an announcement on Twitter that they're leaving Twitter, but they do it every time, like everyone's supposed to go. Stop, don't go. But Joy Reid, she left Twitter. Thank God. She's such a race baiter. I can't stand Joy Reid. I trashed her for like half of a chapter in my last book. Stephen King, he's another one. Washed up. He can't even write books no more. He's a loser. And then people that have said they're going to leave the country so far. And the list is growing every day. Robert De Niro, sayonara. You're like the softest Italian on the planet. Get out of here. Sharon Stone, Sophie Turner, for those of you who don't know, she's one of the Stark kids on Game of Thrones. She can go to. See ya. America Ferrera, see ya. Eva Longoria, see ya. Cher, Barbara Streisand, get out of here. We don't need you. You want to cry about America? Get out. So that's happening left and right. You're seeing it. They all have said. I think Sunny Hostin said she's quitting Twitter too. So whatever. There is still a really different Senate race going on with McCormick and Casey in Pennsylvania. So that's going to turn into a big, giant legal nightmare. Basically, McCormick was already called the winner, but they're going back and doing an automatic recount because it was within the margin of error easily. So McCormick only won by 20,000 votes. So they're doing a recount, but basically Bucks County, which is flipped Republican for the first time in county history, their election board's coming forward and saying, we're going to count every vote again. So they're going to, but they've been counting all the illegal votes too. So that's going to end up in court, and they're going to throw those out. And those people, the election board lady was like, I don't care. If you commit a crime, everybody pretty much breaks laws now. It's like, you idiot, you're going to jail. So anything just to cheat is what's going on. It's not going to be enough to overturn an election, but it's going to be enough to where it could cost McCormick his Senate seat. But it'll end up in court anyway. McCormick will keep that seat. So Sylvester Stallone is getting canceled by the liberals because for pretty much this whole presidential race, Rambo has been staying out of the politics. But a lot of people don't know this, that Sylvester Stallone and Donald Trump are neighbors down in Florida. So they do really well know each other. But after the win, so Trump had a little get together, and Sylvester Stallone introduced him, and he came out and pretty much said, this is my president, and gave this really nice speech about overcoming adversity and whatever. And so now the liberals are going crazy, and they don't like Sylvester Stallone now. Which I guess I get it, because when actors come out as liberal, I generally stop watching their shit. So I guess it goes both ways. So I'm gonna skip over that one. Sean is being a Handmaid's Tale worker right now. So there's some controversy in Mexico. I know Mexico is such a such a big world leader. But the new Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, which doesn't sound very Mexican, she said if Trump puts immigrants in Mexico, she is going to deport all the American immigrants back to the United States. I'm sure it's not very many. But my big thing with that is, okay, so you can talk about that and say you're going to do that. But when you get rid of all those American immigrants that are in your country, you're probably going to take a lot of your own finances out of your country, because I'm sure those Americans that are there are out there creating jobs for Mexicans and creating tax revenue for Mexico. So I doubt, I feel like that's just all smoke, and there's not going to be any backing behind that. And on top of that, she says she'll gladly take them. Sayonara, get ready for 18 million. They're coming. Yes, Colin, Kamala is in debt by $20 million still.
In the name
Y'all,
of
look
Jesus.
at my mama. She became an elder today. Look at her. Look at her.
Oh, yeah, I took my collar
It's
off.
glory.
Girl, why you take the collar off?
Choke.
Eric said, hey.
Hey, Eric.
That is choke you.
Yeah, we like Gloria, even though she voted for Harris. We'll forget that, though. We'll forgive her this one time. She'll see the ways. So back to Mexico. Mexico's trying to play tough. It's not going to work. They did that one other time when that other idiot president they had, Obrador, he tried playing tough with Trump, and Trump said, "Oh no, that's not how it's going to work." Because Mexico does not have the financial structure to maintain itself, and they depend on American taxpayer money for a lot of things. So for them to try to be tough, really, they're gonna cut their own throats doing that. And they know that. So it's just all her trying to talk tough to gain support from her own people. Which it doesn't matter. We're gonna go in there. Tom Homan said he's gonna go in there and he's going to make all of the cartels go extinct. So I'm ready for that. So next on the agenda, accusations. It's been accusations week in Washington with all Trump's cabinet people, and then they've been bringing up some old stuff like with Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh and Trump's sexual allegations. Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth are facing stuff. But here's the thing: you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, high ranking guys. If these guys were out there really committing sexual assault crimes, it's the easiest thing in the world to get a sexual assault indictment. So for these guys to have never even been indicted is telling in itself. Trump's case was over 20 some years old. Kavanaugh's is old. Clarence Thomas is old. Matt Gaetz isn't that old. But Pete Hegseth is a few years old. If they were really sexually assaulting people, the indictments would be out and their political careers would have been over very quickly. But it didn't happen. Indictments didn't happen. Even in Trump's case with E. Jean Carroll, there was no criminal indictment. Trump was found liable for the assault on E. Jean Carroll, which is basically a way for Trump to just pay her out and just get out of that ordeal. Notice how there was no criminal charges against Trump for E. Jean Carroll. It's because they didn't have anything to indict him on, which means the elements of the crime did not exist. And with sexual assault cases being the most easiest thing in the world to indict, that tells you the evidence was even less. Most likely it was just a statement from E. Jean Carroll saying it happened, which when we go back and we look at Kobe and all these other celebrities that have gone through the same thing, it's all about that money. When you're E. Jean Carroll and you're a washed up model that ain't worth nothing anymore, what are you going to do? You're going to go after your money. And that was her way. I'll never believe it until criminal charges get filed, and they never will. Because these women go after celebrities for money all the time, even the liberal ones. So next, I'm going to talk about RFK. Actually, Shauna, do you have anything you want to add to the sexual assault allegations? Of course, you just got that. Anyway, so we'll go into RFK. So the liberals are having a hissy fit over the RFK nomination. Now, mind you, when you look at RFK's presidential bid, when you look at his platforms, I did not like his whole platform. I thought he was borderline, like he was a different kind of radical. He was radical in his own way, and it was anti-conservative. So I didn't like that, but I like how Trump is handling this. He's saying, look, scrap all the stuff that you're radicalized about, and let's just focus on the things that we all can agree on. And you run with that in my campaign. So I think it's a good move because RFK is really, really big on the food and health industries, and the drugs, the FDA. Those companies, Big Pharma, is panicking right now because they know RFK is going to go in there and he's going to take the best scientists he can find. They're going to go through all that stuff. And they're going to say, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. You shouldn't have to take a pill to solve one problem, but the side effects create a whole other set of problems. That doesn't make any sense. If you go take an herbal medication, there are no side effects. So what would you rather do? Take something that God put on this earth, or take a pharmaceutical pill that nobody really knows what is in it. Do they ever hand you like a set of ingredients when you get your medications? Because they take a bunch of stuff and they grind it all together and put it in pill form. I don't trust medications. I don't take medications. I like to think that if I eat the right things, and being RFK, we have very much the same thought process as that. And I know a lot of other bodybuilders out there, like the big pros, they all say the same thing. If you just eat right, keep your protein intake up to a certain level, depending upon what you're trying to do. Generally, it's 1 pound of protein to ingest per every pound that you are to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So if you're 150 pounds, you're going to need 150 grams of protein every day. And that's going to feed every muscle in your body. And protein is the building blocks of the cell. So if you're taking care of your protein intake, you're going to take care of your cell structure, and your cells are going to regenerate at the pace that they're supposed to, which is going to keep your immune system going at the rate that it's supposed to. And your thyroids will be in check. All these things revolve around your protein intake. If you eat right and you eat the right amount of proteins and you eat good stuff, stay away from the chemical-induced foods, which RFK is going to start tackling that to get all these chemicals and preservatives taken out of our food. So as somebody who lifts a lot of weights every day, I never miss. I even try to lift weights when I'm on vacation, which is stupid, but I do it. I like it. But you just have to really, focus on what is going to generate a positive reaction for your body. Drinking a bunch of soda pop every day is not going to do that. You're going to take in a bunch of fats. You're going to take in a bunch of acids, fatty acids, and it's going to slow down. It's going to slow down your immune system, and you're going to be susceptible to disease and sickness and viruses and bacteria. I also have a theory. Now I'm going to say theory because I don't want to say that this is factual because it's just theoretical on my part. That when RFK gets done going through all these things and he says, okay, everybody purify your food, then we're not going to need meds very much. And then pharmaceutical companies are going to go out of business. But that's a good thing. We want them to. That means we're healthy. I think you're going to see cancer rates go down. I think you're going to see ADHD rates go down. I think you're going to see autism go down. I think you're going to see heart disease go down. I think we're going to have such a healthy response out of this that it doesn't make sense why the liberals are constantly trying to say, oh, RFK shouldn't be in there doing that. What, you don't like healthy people? I do. Do you think RFK is just going to go make decisions? Let's go. Sean, you better get your mom under control.
My mama going to hell. She already acting up. She almost just shot somebody out here in this parking lot. I said, girl, you just left the church. Oh my God.
Hey, we can't say that out loud.
Don't be telling him that.
You can't say that out loud.
Why do you give you this big old cross?
Everybody got one.
You look like you about to go do an exorcism.
Hey, I'm ready.
Go,
Don't be sure.
go ahead.
She needs an old priest and a young priest.
This is the funniest shit I ever see all day. Mama.
Only in Atlanta.
Yes, I have seen officer.
Mama. You gonna pray over the body after you and shot him?
We ain't gonna kill him.
Oh my God.
You better mute her. She's gonna say something incriminating. I'm gonna get my laptop confiscated by the feds. That's why Shauna acts the way she does, so everybody knows. Gloria, she's a fireball. Gloria also confirmed that I'm black, so we're good.
I'm so sorry. I've been listening this whole time. My mama's she acting up right now. Oh my God. You need to go home.
Yeah, take her to bed. So there is a new the liberals that are leaving Twitter. So there is a new liberal website that they're going to, or a social media platform. It's called Blue Sky. It's a blue butterfly is the logo, but I'm not going to Blue Sky. I mean, part of me wants to get on Twitter and say every conservative go to Blue Sky and ruin it. But then again, I'm tired of arguing with liberals. It's exhausting because they tell you to follow the science, but then when you show them science, they don't want to follow it, and so it's just like it's like beating a dead horse. It doesn't get anywhere. So Blue Sky, for any of you liberal watchers, go there so you can be in your safe space. That's what they're advertising it as. It's our safe space. So go to your safe space. Biden made a big announcement this weekend, and it has me a cause for concern strategically. And Colin, you might have to chime in on this if what you think. But Biden was in Brazil, and he had like a quick little presser. He's authorized Ukraine to use long range missiles on Brazil or on Russia. I do not like this. But I'm watching the media pundits are all coming out and saying, oh, this is going to be helpful to Donald Trump going into his election because he's going to have this negotiation tool. But you think Biden authorized this just to help Trump transition into this? No, he did it because he knows Zelensky's going to fire them. Zelensky's not going to just sit on them. He's going to fire them at Russia. He has been attacking Russia. So if Russia starts getting hit with long-range ballistic missiles, you think Putin's just going to sit there and go, well, we'll just wait until Trump gets in office? No, he's going to get Ukraine bombed. And that's going to be a problem because Biden just escalated the war. And the media is trying to cover it up and say, well, Biden's doing this to help out Trump. This ain't going to help Trump. This is going to cause him to clean up this mess a lot better. And Zelensky wants this done because it keeps his money train coming in. Because if the war escalates, then Trump will be put in a situation where he's probably going to have to help out the Ukraine. And that's going to be more money for Zelensky and his oligarchs in Ukraine. I'm anti this war. I want them to settle it and be done with it. This is a stupid ass war. In my opinion, this is two brothers that have been fighting over something stupid for a long time now, and it needs to stop. But I don't see the benefits of Biden doing this. He never explained why he did it. He just said, I'm going to do it. But I think the media is wrong on this. I think Biden gave them the tools needed to escalate the war, knowing that it's going to escalate. I don't know. He's got North Korea up there now helping him out, Collins. I think Russia can keep this up because if you look at the money, the United States, Joe Biden made Russia rich. And a lot of people don't know that. Trump was choking the Russian economy and the ruble was falling. And then when Joe Biden got into office, all of a sudden the sanctions hit, which didn't really hurt them. And it made the ruble almost double in value. And then people were backdoor buying oil off of Russia. So I think Russia still has a lot to give. I don't think we've seen them. They haven't even shot off a FOAB yet. And I know Putin's got them. And I just don't. I don't know if I buy our American media telling us that Russia is not doing good. Because when I look at other medias around the world, they're saying Ukraine's got 1 million dead and they're running out of soldiers. Yeah, the North Korean soldiers, I didn't really expect too much out of them. You know, they've never really fought in a war in a very, very long time. So, you know, there were some soldiers that aren't used to being soldiers. But I don't like it. I think it needs to end. Trump needs to sit down and strap his boots on and go, okay, Zelensky, you're done. And Tulsi Gabbard brought up a really good point a few years ago, and that video surfaced, that they should just anoint the Ukraine a neutral zone and let them do their thing to where the UN can't come in and Russia can't come in. It's just a neutral zone. I like that idea. I think Tulsi Gabbard's onto something right there. And I think that's going to be the best option to settle this situation, is just create a neutral zone, because you know Putin's concerned that the UN's going to go in there and get the Ukraine, and the Ukraine's concerned that Russia's going to jump in there and come in and take it. So I think making it a neutral zone, like Tulsi Gabbard suggests, is a good idea. So Zelensky also came out and said that Trump can't make him negotiate with Russia. And so if you're gonna be somebody who's standing there with your hands out saying, America, give me some money. I'm not going to insult the president. He must not need our money that much if he's going to say, you can't make me do anything. Well, yeah, we can. We pay for it. So you do what you're told. And that's how it should work in America. And that's how Trump needs to take that whole situation. You want our money, you're going to shut up and do what you're told. I know that's probably an elitist way to look at it, but that's what I think. So next on the agenda. So there is an issue that the liberals are paying close attention to Trump's FBI director appointment. I'm pretty sure, I would be like 99% sure it's going to be Kash Patel. I think everybody pretty much thinks it's going to be Kash Patel. I love that it's Kash Patel. So they're terrified of what Kash Patel is going to declassify. So there are things that these liberals do not want to get out that they are afraid that Kash Patel is going to unleash on the American people. I want to know what it is. I want him to declassify everything that he's allowed to declassify. I want to know who funds all the banks, or where all that money came from, that Trump shooter, who helped him, who funded him. I want to know that. I want to know if there's any ties with the other attempted shooter down there in Florida on the golf course. I want to know. I want to know if there's UFOs in the ocean. I want to know that too. And there's just a lot of things I want to know. Who all told who to spy and attack American citizens from the Department of Justice. I want to know that. I want those people to go to jail. They deserve it. They violated their oath to the people. And I think Trump and Kash Patel and Ratcliffe and Matt Gaetz, they all need to get together and say, who are we going to indict? And let's get it done. And because that's going to set an example that if you're going to be in those agencies, you had better be doing the right thing, or you're going to go to jail. Republican or Democrat, it don't matter who the president is. Those agencies have to be down the middle, and they're going to be. So Kash Patel's going to be a big problem for them, and I can't wait. And for some reason, he hasn't announced it yet, but I think everybody pretty much knows it's going to be Kash Patel. Also, the Secret Service. The Secret Service director, if it's not Dan Bongino, then I don't know who the hell else they would give it to. Dan Bongino needs to be Secret Service director. He knows his shit. He's served, I think, like 4 presidents. Let the guy run it. If he doesn't get it done, get somebody else. But I feel like Dan Bongino, he's passionate about his job with the Secret Service. He'll do a good job. So there's still quite a few other cabinet positions that need to happen. Theo Vaughn didn't get press secretary, so I'm sad about that. For those of you who don't know, Theo Vaughn is the podcaster that he has a mullet, and he interviewed J.D. Vance right before the election, and he got J.D. Vance to talk about cocaine use. It was hilarious. But Theo Vaughn, he's funny. I would have liked to see him answer questions with the press. It would have been hilarious. One other thing, for those of you in Ohio, I don't know if you guys realize this, but you guys had a Nazi group go to Columbus this past weekend. And so one thing that I want to bring up, and me and Shauna talked about this on Friday. So I remember way back when I was in college at the time, but the KKK wanted to do a rally one time up in Toledo, Ohio. So what the KKK did was they got their permits to do their protest in the hood, like in the heart of the Toledo hood, because they wanted to fight. and they wanted to cause a problem. That's what those groups do. So what separates what the normalcy of it is compared to what happened in Columbus is they picked a very like non-confrontational, like middle upper class area to do this march. So that tells me it was not neo-Nazis. They would have picked a much more like more conspicuous place to go to cause a problem. But they didn't get really any resistance, just a lot of people taking videos. And that tells me it's one of two things. It's either Democrats posing or feds. Naturally, everybody had masks on. Generally, neo-Nazis don't wear masks. So that tells me, I feel like it was probably feds. Feds have been out there doing psyops and trying to make white supremacy like a big thing when it's not. So also, my favorite person to pay attention to on all social media, Tony Saruga, he said, hey, fake neo-Nazis, next time you guys want to do some Fed stuff, turn your GPSs off and then turn your GPSs off in your cars because I know where all you guys came from. So you can't like screw the biggest IT guy on the planet, right? He knows where you're from. He knows where you go. He knows where you're going. He's like Santa Claus, but of IT. He knows if you've been naughty or nice. You can't get over on him. He's still in business. This guy still runs this massive techie company. So that's a kind of a big thing. Shauna, the liberals are mad that Jelly Roll's a conservative. What do you think about that?
That was crazy.
I mean, why are we mad? I don't understand.
Someone trying to save me school.
Girl, yeah, somebody trying to sue me. Raggedy ass people. Hold on, I'm on a podcast. What they mad about that for? I mean, isn't he from like Texas or something?
That's a good.
Like he's from like Texas, right? Or like somewhere around that. That's normal.
No, that's a good question.
Like, where is he from? Mom, why you been holding on? Oh, is this a car? Hold on, wait a minute, Glory.
She got this too that's empty. This lady just had to buy me. She bought me a plant.
She bought you a plant.
For me, I said,
No, Jelly Roll's from Nashville.
Okay, still Nashville. Like, why are we surprised? I'm confused.
Yeah, he's from the heart of
Nashville.
Nashville.
Mom, you didn't put him in your base.
What? No,
he's from the country world.
This was me.
But I'm just like, it's Nashville. Like, I don't. That's pretty.
It is pretty.
I just don't understand why they mad. Like, that should be normal. I mean, not that it's a bad thing. Like, he's from Nashville, but I'm just saying, like, it's Nashville. Like, most people are conservative in Nashville, aren't they? Or you know, it's been a minute since I've been in Nashville, but I thought that was.
She got some money in there for me.
Gloria.
That's pretty though. You know, I love these plants like this. Oh, it's a card in there too. It's 2 cards.
What you gonna do with this plant? Girl, bye. Let me go home.
I'm gonna take that one to work.
Oh, this my mail.
All right, so
Oh my, you been hoarding mail, girl. If it's the bill, I'm giving it back. You can keep these. You can keep this thing. I'm sorry.
Charleston White, they asked him some questions on a podcast the other day.
Yeah, I'm on a podcast. Tell everybody. Tell my mom, right behind my bye.
Bye, Gloria.
Where you at, girl? He said bye, Gloria. Who mail is that?
Some of it's yours.
Girl, Mom, you keep them bills, girl. I don't want that.
If it's some money and it was money and one, I took the money out.
Mom, no, you didn't.
Aiden got it.
What are you talking about?
Then it wasn't a kid.
Excuse me. Who money? My money?
Yeah, somebody sent you some real money.
Mom, don't play with me. All right, Gloria. Remember, you ain't got ordained. God looking at you now. Doing it ready. Oh, okay. You think that's why you hiding out around here. Mom, if you took my money, we gonna have a problem.
There wasn't no lot of money.
Mom!
It was $1.
Let me mute.
Dang, she had to put her mom on pause for that. It's about to go down. I feel like we're about to be a victim. We're about to be witnesses to crime. But anyway, Charleston White was on a podcast and they asked him a question. They said, I'm going to say a name and you give one word
Yeah,
response.
put it here.
And so
I got to go through it.
the podcaster said,
Yeah.
sexy red.
All
And
that
Charleston White said, whore. And he said, Will Smith. And Charleston White said, gay. So it's official. Charleston White thinks that Will Smith is gay, which might be true. He is a liberal.
Okay, what was the question about Charleston White? Love you.
Well, they were asking him. They were saying like different celebrities' names, and he had to give one. You're not even listening. But there's a lot of podcasters out there that do things, and so it's
I'm sorry. What was the question they asked Charleston White?
He had to give one word responses to like a celebrity's name at random. And they said sexy red, and he said whore. And then they said Will Smith, and he said gay.
Okay.
That was quite telling. Because Charleston White just says whatever he wants to say.
I mean, yeah, but as I mean, I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day, my dad used to tell us all the time, asshole, like opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. But I mean, if you're doing something,
is Charleston White in the know? Does he know these things?
I mean, here's the thing. He's around a lot of different people. I wouldn't think that he's not in the know. Why would he not be?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know how high up the food chain Charleston White is. I don't know if he's just relevant.
I would think he would be pretty far up just because of how extreme he is. Maybe not on the black side, but definitely on the white side. White people love Charleston White. Like, they love him. So my whole thing is like, even if like maybe not like on the black people, but he definitely probably higher up on the other end. So he definitely probably hearing the whispers and talks about things. I would definitely think so.
Yeah, maybe you're right. The Washington Post just put out a clip that said that women are stockpiling abortion pills before Trump gets in office. What? Why are people so backwards? That doesn't. I just don't understand that.
I just feel like in 20 years we're gonna be seeing those commercials like when I was a kid talking about mesothelioma because these bitches wanted to take 2-year-old birth control pills because they so upset about goddamn Trump. I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's just like y'all are doing so much extreme things that just seems a lot more damaging than you freaking out over him being president. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of damaging things you're doing to yourself to prove a point. And I think when are we gonna just say enough is enough?
Well, my question is, are they going on a sex strike, or are they just going to have irresponsible sex? I'm really confused as to their angle. Like, which way are they going to go?
Well, that's the fucking problem. They've already been having like irresponsible sex. That's why the freaking abortion rate is so high. So I don't really get it. I don't really understand.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be on strike. Well, you shouldn't need abortion pills if you're on strike.
I would just love to see a lot of these women say that they're not going to have sex at all. I mean, not saying that it couldn't happen. I would love to see how long that solidarity is going to last. Like, are we really going to do this for 4 years? Like, just not at all. Like, I just find that very hard to believe. We're living in stressful times, and everybody knows the best way to relieve stress is through sex. I don't know. I don't see this being a good thing.
Yeah, you're right, Colin. Everybody was stockpiling stuff when Biden took office, but we were going through COVID, so people were stockpiling things anyway. Everybody was like a bunch of squirrels trying to hide nuts.
Oh my God! You couldn't even get paper towels.
Yeah, toilet paper was like a rare commodity.
Oh, hand sanitizer, all of those things. Like, you literally, if you wanted to get them, you had to go first thing in the morning when they did like shipment. That was the only time you could really get stuff.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is I'm going to give everybody like a little preview of my book. I was going to make a video this weekend that just kind of, it was just going to be nothing but a book preview. That way people know. I did one on TikTok, but I'm going to just talk about my book real briefly. So in my book, I cover, the first chapter is about the history of Switzerland. Like there's so many things that you wouldn't have known. Like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was set in Switzerland. So Frankenstein technically is Swiss. He came out of the mountains and did things. So I dug up a lot of historical things and some mythological things about Switzerland, about the history, and that it's not, it may be a really beautiful country, but it has a very dark past. Yes, you're late today, Rob. You're late. You have to watch the replay. But Switzerland has a very dark past. And there's also kind of like a mystical past. The people there for centuries have been scared of the mountains. They even have festivals to keep the demons from coming out of the mountains and coming down into the small towns and killing everyone. So there's that, like, kind of like those cryptozoology, I think is what you call it, kind of stories, these mythical stories about demons coming out. And then those transformed into something else. And I'm not going to give that away because you have to read the book to kind of know what I'm talking about. But you have this history in Switzerland, and then one thing that really got me when I was researching this book was in World War II, Switzerland was neutral. Hitler was running around all over Europe, conquering everything. So what made Switzerland so damn special that they got to just come out and say, "Hey, we're neutral, don't kill us"? And Hitler wouldn't. He would listen. He wouldn't even go into Switzerland. They had like a little firefight, that was close to the Swiss border, and they had to get out of that area because the Swiss, were about to get involved. And Hitler was scared of Switzerland. Why? It's just a tiny little country. They didn't even have enough people in there to defend themselves against Hitler. Hitler would have had Switzerland conquered in probably an hour. So, I looked up some things that kind of generates my theory on that. And then there's some biblical stories that match up with some of the things that have happened in Switzerland and then in Germany. They do make good cheese in Switzerland. The best cheese they make is Famunda. Maybe you've ever had Famunda cheese. But so then I get into, what is in Switzerland today that makes it so special? Well, we have all of the world organizations are there, and we've talked about them on this podcast a million times. Now, those organizations are supposed to be helpful to the globe. The World Health Organization is supposed to monitor and keep the globe healthy, and with vaccines and medications and blah, 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 like trying to track where the at-risk areas are. Then you have the World Economic Forum, which is supposed to create all this opportunity economically throughout the world. All these organizations are supposed to be helpful. But what has happened is the greed of America, along with this European need to control and colonize everything, kind of merged together and created this massive power struggle. And what they want to do, they just basically came together and said, okay, here's the 3 richest asset management companies in the world. We're going to merge with the greatest European families here. And we're going to come up with this global government. And they don't even try to hide it anymore. If you go on the World Economic Forum's website, they talk about the global government all the time. They want one religion, one currency, one set of laws. Do away with democracy and only have socialism. That's what they want, and they're very, very clear about it. And that's not American. That's not good for America. So that's why I wrote the book, was to bring exposure to that, because our media doesn't show us anything past the East and the West Coast. They don't tell us what's going on in Europe. You know, you look at Europe when it turned into a big giant riot over immigration. Well, our media just refused to cover it. And then Europe shut it down too. They wouldn't even report on it. So there's a lot of censoring that goes on there. So I further went into it and I looked and I said, okay, where's all this money going? Okay, well, this organization is down in Africa. But these organizations, along with the European Union, are colonizing the shit out of Africa right now as we speak. They're down there trying to steal all the natural resources they can from the African people. And so I wanted to create this bridge that these guys are affiliated with them and these guys are affiliated with them. So I created this big grid that went right back over to the United States, and it's attracted to guys like Larry Fink, Barack Obama. All these guys are in on it. Joe Biden. All these people are part of this giant web, and the money backs up my theory. And as I was researching more, I realized that there are other like-minded people that think the same thing. So it's this massive global, like, elitist group, and we've all heard of like the trilaterals, the Bilderbergs, all the G20s, all these elite groups that meet all the time, and they had decided the fate of the world. Well, Donald Trump screwed it up because he got elected president over Hillary Clinton, and that wasn't supposed to happen. So the one of the heads of this whole thing is Klaus Schwab. A lot of people who know who Klaus Schwab is. Klaus Schwab is the creator of the World Economic Forum, and he's also, well, I think he's taken a lesser role now, but he's like 80-something years old. So he wrote this book called The Fourth Industrial Revolution. That is the plan that we are all on right now. And so what he wants to do, he wants to see that plan become the globalized law before he dies. That's why you keep hearing Biden and Harris talk about the year 2030 all the time, when they were campaigning. 2030 is the year that Klaus Schwab set at the World Economic Forum and in the European Union to get his fourth industrial revolution done, because he wanted to see it happen before he died. Now he's not going to, because now Trump's been elected again. Klaus Schwab will be dead before Trump is done with his next term. But he has it set up to where this is still going to continue to happen. They're just going to wait it out 4 years for Trump to get done, try to get a new Democrat candidate pumped up that everybody will like, and then reinitiate the fourth industrial revolution. And that's basically what my book is about. And it talks about what can we do to stop it, and holding politicians accountable. If they don't listen to us, we vote them out. It's that easy. You have to keep exposing them. And that's what motivated me to podcast. It motivates me to write, because I believe that the truth is out there and that Americans deserve to know the truth, because our media, which is owned by the top 3 asset management companies in the world, along with half of the European ones. So they're all on the same team. And we're never going to get the truth out there if we don't listen to each other instead of listening to the media. Right now, they're trying to infiltrate us and create another race war. They're trying to create a gender war. And we just have to resist that and not buy into that, because that's not what's happening in America. We're being hand-fed scenarios, just like with the whole Nazi group walking around in Columbus. They did that to ignite a fire. And Tony Srugo already said, he said that's not normal American people. That's somebody else. So don't fall for it. So that's basically the gist. There's a lot of information in there. A lot of, I covered all the 17 sustainable development goals, which is a cancer. We should be rejecting all that. The 15-minute cities that they want to put us in, that's all covered in there, how they're going to do it, how that's not going to work. I'll give you a quick example. So let's say Jimmy on the south side of town, which is the hood, wants to improve his life and go live in the north side of the city where all the rich folks at. So do you think the rich folk on the north side is going to let old Jimmy on the south side into their perfect little community? Hell no, they're not. Sean, do you see that? Are they going to let people from the south side go live in Buckhead? No, it's not happening. And so what they're doing is creating this modern day grid of cities to keep people segregated from each other. And they think we're too stupid to see it. It was very easy to me as I was researching the 15-minute cities about how they're trying to do that. And Rob, if I remember, I'm pretty sure Canada's already running several of their cities as 15-minute cities, which is basically everything you need is within walking distance. And they just kind of grid everything out, and you're part of a certain sector. I know Portland, Oregon started to do it here, but then Antifa started burning down the city. So I know they're doing it in Australia. Okay, Canada's probably going to be on the list. I would imagine you guys probably, some of your ultra liberal Canadian cities, which would be probably Montreal and Vancouver's probably definitely on that list. The West Coast is just going to West Coast. But that's something that is happening. They want that. And for me, as somebody who likes my freedom, I want to be able to go drive wherever the hell I want to, whenever the hell I want to. So, okay, so they want universal health care. And I think you guys do have universal health care up in Canada, if I'm correct. But I understand that universal health care would help a lot of people because there are a lot of people that do not have health care. However, here's the problem with universal health care. You have to have an indigenous healthcare system for indigenous people. But you can't make it universal throughout the country. You have to allow people to have their choice of private or whatever. What happens? So they do this in Europe, and what happens in Europe is, so they have total control over the healthcare system in Europe. The government does, and so what they do is they say doctors can only make this much, hospitals can only make this much, and they flatline everything. So let's say, that. Let's say you're a doctor and you went to Harvard and you got this massive, like you're one of the best up and coming brain surgeons on the planet. And the United States government comes up to you as a doctor and says, you're only allowed to make $150,000 a year. Well, if you're the best in the world, I want to get paid the best in the world money. But the government's not going to let you do that. They're going to say, nope. You're not allowed to make more than that. You're not allowed to get rich. So as a doctor, I'm going to go and say, well, where can I make top surgeon money? I'm going to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm going to go to, whatever country is going to give me the most money, because if I'm an elite mind, I want to get paid elite money. And global, or this nationwide healthcare system is going, what it's going to do is we're going to have to settle for mediocre doctors, because the best of the best is going to go be doctors somewhere else. And that's what Europe has that problem over there, where the best doctors leave Europe and come over here. And they're stuck with just the mediocre doctors or the doctors who don't want to leave Europe. So that's the only issue that we have when it comes to that type of healthcare system, Rob. I hope that answers your question. Because I've gone back and forth with it myself. I'm like, man, universal healthcare would be okay. But then, then I'm like, it's gonna lower the bar of healthcare. Because people are gonna, if you tell me I can't make no more money, I'm gonna go, okay, well, I'm not gonna give you no more effort. And so that's a problem that, you want to get paid what you think you're worth. And so that's the only issue that I have with that. Shauna, what do you think? Universal health care or not?
Say it again.
Do you want universal health care or not? Or just Obamacare forever?
Oh, Obamacare can kiss my ass. No. I'll keep working at Starbucks before I fucking get Obamacare.
Obama says it's supposed to be the best healthcare system ever.
Yeah, no, and that's a lie. I know people now who has Obamacare, and it's like, I wish I would have never got this. No, it's a lie.
That's what I was told by people on TV.
Lie. All lies. And what white person we know got Obamacare?
None. I mean, you know what? That's a good point. The proof is in the pudding.
I'm just saying, you're advertising this, but tell me one white person that has Obamacare.
You're right. You're right. I can't
it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so yeah, Obamacare is no good. But do you want universal health care, like funded and regulated by the government? I don't. How did that work out, Colin? Colin's trying to prove a point of how good Canadian healthcare is, and he said once he watched Rob try to get drunk enough to pull out his own tooth. I thought you guys just hit hockey pucks at each other in the mouth to make all your teeth come out.
My sister has pulled her own braces off before, so anything is possible.
See, your sister would be a great Canadian then, according to Colin's logic. It happened. Rob confirmed that this story is true. We have confirmation. You guys are nuts. But that's why you guys are awesome in the comment section. I would be bored podcasting if I didn't have all this great intelligence to look at every single episode. It excites me. I was like, wonder what they're going to come up with today. But no dental plan. You don't need dental plans. You just knock your teeth out. You don't need. They're not going to come back.
From what I've been told, we shouldn't even have to see the dentist, but no more than 2 times a year. That's it.
Hey, Colin, that's a good point. Does Obama have Obamacare? No. How do you not have the health care it's named after you?
That's what I'm saying. All the people that's like, Obamacare, you got Obamacare. Yeah, let me go see you get Obamacare, Sarah, and see how you like it.
Can I say one Michelle
You got to be practically homeless to get fucking Obamacare. So to get it at the good rates. So let me see how that makes you feel.
Shauna, can I say one Michelle Obama joke?
What?
Just one. Obamacare is so bad that that they couldn't even finish the job on Michelle Obama.
Do you feel better getting that out?
I do. I
Okay,
feel like
I'm glad you feel better.
because we know that they're. No, we don't know. It's a theory. It's a conspiracy theory. I didn't realize how tall Michelle is.
Here we go.
But she made Kamala Harris look like a midget. Maybe Kamala's just that short. I've never looked at her height. She's probably at the Kamala's
Or
probably just
Kamala could have just had on her low shoes like she typically does, and Michelle typically has on heels. Just saying. Normal theory, nothing extreme, nothing extravagant. Just
I
two
promised I
normal women.
wasn't. Well, I promised I wasn't going to say any more Michelle Obama jokes, so I'm gonna hold to my word.
Colin, I'm glad
Because
you liked that and
time,
thought it was funny.
Rob did. They all thought it was funny. It was a good joke, and I even PG-13'd it down. But that's going to be our show for the day. We're over an hour, and we will see you. So tomorrow. I will be doing my psych show. For those of you who watch, I know Rob usually tunes in. I think I'm going to do it over anxiety, how to deal with anxiety. Maybe we'll see. I'll announce it tomorrow. For those of you who have me on Facebook. But this show will be back on Wednesday. Hopefully something like big happens. It's hard to go find a bunch of little stories to talk about. Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Colin. You guys have a safe week too. I'm out. Peace.